All right, so there's another decision looming that could have a huge impact on the outcome of the election. Let's go to Nebraska now. A state law passed in 2005 restored voting rights for formerly incarcerated felons. One condition, they have to wait 2 years after their sentences end to register. Now, in April, the state legislature removed that requirement, but 2 days before that new law was going into effect, Nebraska's attorney general said the new law and the 2005 law are both unconstitutional. He argues the state's pardon board does not legislators rather, have the power to restore voting rights. And as a result, the Secretary of State of Nebraska told county election officials to stop registering people with felonies on their record who have not been pardoned. The ACLU sued on behalf of 3 people impacted, and one wants to register as a Democrat, another as a Republican, a third as a nonpartisan. Supreme Court had a hearing this week. A ruling is now pending. Now, Nebraska is a red state, but Nebraska is also unique. It allocates electoral votes by district. And in Omaha's 2nd congressional district, former President Donald Trump won by just a little more than 6,500 votes in 2016. 2020, President Biden won the district by 22,000 votes. This one district could swing the race in a close electoral college count. According to the Voting Rights Restoration Coalition, 7,000 formerly incarcerated Nebraskans could be eligible to vote. This context matters too. People who are incarcerated in Nebraska are disproportionately Black, Hispanic, or Indigenous. Analysis from the Prison Policy Initiative found the rate of Black people in prison in Nebraska in 2021 was more than 9 times higher than white Nebraskans. Aaron Pettis is impacted by this. He has a felony on his record after spending 16 and a half years in prison. Aaron now works with a nonprofit in Nebraska called RISE, which helps with reentry. Aaron, thank you so much for being with me. First, just the ramifications of not just removing the 2-year waiting period, but now saying anyone with a felony on their record, reverting to a 19th century law, would not be able to register to vote.
Right. Yeah, they literally jumped in their AMC DeLorean and went back to the future on us, right? And canceled out a law that's been in place for 20 years, allowing people with past felony convictions to vote. My wife, who had voted in the last 3 elections, who's also formerly incarcerated, now can no longer vote. So you said 7,000. That's just 7,000 new voters. That's not including the tens of thousands of votes that are affected by the old law. The impact of this law going to or being banned is just it's astronomical.
Yeah. I think I also want to be clear here, just as in the first conversation, it was not neat along Republican and Democrat lines. Here as well, the legislature in Nebraska, which is unicameral, mostly Republican, they voted to support to remove this 2-year waiting period. So we should not understand this as a political fight. Why do you think this is happening?
I mean, you quoted the numbers in the beginning. 9 times more likely to be incarcerated than our fellow Nebraskans, and I think that there's maybe some fear about how that 9 times as many people will vote, and so there's been a blanket law revoked, basically nullifying our voice. You know, being formally incarcerated and coming out and getting my right to vote back invited me back into the fold. And with one swoop of the pen, the Secretary of State and the Attorney General ushered me back out of society and silenced me. And that doesn't sit well with me. I feel like they're doing this because they feel like they're doing it in a vacuum. But I'm here this morning to bring light to this issue because I deserve the vote. I've done my time, and I want to be able to go into the voter booth and make my voice heard.
And what's the impact here, even if the law that's been passed is upheld? We cover stories like Crystal Masons out of Texas, where someone who has a felony on their record, they accidentally go and try to vote when potentially they are not allowed to, and then they're sentenced. I mean, what do you think the confusion impact will be there in Nebraska?
People aren't going to vote. I mean, I don't want to go back to prison. I work with hundreds of ex-incarcerated people, and the wide opinion is, even if this thing is overturned, I'm not getting back into this process. We had to convince a lot of people to even re-engage in this process to begin with. And now this comes down and it almost feels like we're back in prison, where an arbitrary decision made by one person can change your life. And that's essentially what happened here. One person made the decision to nullify this vote, and another person rubber stamped it, overriding a 38-6 vote in the legislature. 38-6, overwhelming support, nullified by two people working with one mind.
You've described this as unending punishment and demoralization. I mean, beyond the letter of the law and what's being considered, there is this, maybe it's a misconception that rights are being restored for people with felonies on their record. What has this period taught us?
And I think in the 20 years since the original law was passed, it's taught us that people who are formerly incarcerated can take part in the process and take part in the process successfully. It is hard for me to understand how this can happen and why this would happen. And it's being formerly incarcerated, the cynicism that's built into you from being inside the institution makes me feel a little dubious of the intentions of this law being passed.
Aaron Pettis joining us from Omaha. Thank you so much.